Well, this is a video for anybody that's wanting to get into gold prospecting. I'll kind of show you some spots where I've had some pretty good luck. Well, what I look for is these turns in the creeks or rivers. As you can see, this right here is a pretty tight corner. It cruises off here pretty sharp. It comes all the way around this corner and then runs around off to the right here pretty sharp. Well, what gold wants to do is take the least path of resistance. It'll go to the slowest water. It doesn't want to run on the outside turns. It'll grab right on to these corners and just run right along here. So you'll want to check these little sandbars and stuff, that the smaller material, as you can see, it's just sand. But these are the spots in Ohio where I have found the most of my gold. Now everybody says to go deep. Yeah, you'll find gold deep too, bigger pieces, but here in Ohio, this is the spots that I favor. And why the gold is up here on the bank and stuff is because when it rains real hard and all this is churned up and everything's moving down in here, gold will actually float. The small little fine pieces will float on the surface tension of the water. And as the water recedes, that gold will go to the slowest spot, which will be directly up against the bank. So as the water recedes, those little pieces will be deposited further and further down. Now, I was digging here the other day, and I found some really nice chunky pieces. So I've got my pan here just to show you. I'll take a couple scoops from right in here. There's a big old rock. You definitely want to keep your bigger rocks that you dig out of these banks too, because you can see there's material all over that rock. And when that gold's going through this softer material and hits that rock, it'll sit right on that rock. So you want to make sure you clean any of these big rocks that you pull out of here. Make sure you clean those off. So I'm going to get some of this in here. And I'll go over here. You can see there's hardly any water down through here. All this is usually underwater, this whole thing here. Haven't had any rain here in Ohio, so I'll load up my little sifter here. Walk on over. In any of these, another spot is if you find big boulders and you'll see lighter material behind it, that's a good spot too, and in front of the rock. But the slower spot is behind the big rocks, because it causes an eddy behind those rocks. So I'm gonna hopefully I get a piece in here to show you. That's been a pretty good spot. Let me wash these rocks off a little bit. Get the big ones out of there. There's that big one. Yeah, any type of dirt and mud. I'm going to clean those off. now, what we'll do is just classify this down. And I've found, I think this classifier's got like a little over eighth inch holes in it, or a little bigger than 1/8 inch, I'm sorry. But yeah, you will classify all that down. Most of the gold, I mean, the chances of getting a huge piece in Ohio is pretty unlikely. So I just use a little smaller sifter when I'm just panning out and stuff. I mean, I usually use about a 1/2 inch when I'm using my sluice box. That water will run right out of there. Plus, if you find somewhere with a whole bunch of quartz pieces, that's probably a good spot to check too, because when the glaciers deposited all that, those are the deposits that had plowed through the rock that was bearing gold, which is the quartz. Yeah, the way I pan is I get a little bit of material in there, not too much, you'll wear your hand out, but you just want to work all that material around, liquefy all that material, and that motion cleans all your rocks off too, because all that little sand may have a speck stuck to it. So you work it around, dump that muddy water off, do it a couple times, you'll be able to see your material cleaning up a little bit. But you shake that all around, get that gold to drop right to the bottom of your pan. You want to slowly tilt your pan forward until you're just about right at the edge, and you want to tilt it and just wash some of that material off. Shake it around at the angle, wash some of that material off, and take it all the way back down. The reason you want to take it all the way back down is if a piece of gold had jumped up to your last ripple in your pan, you can pull it back down into the bottom, because you want that gold to be trapped in that bottom riffle in your pan. So you want to shake it around, take some of that off. And as you get down to less and less material, you want to start getting a little more gentle with what you're pulling off. So shake it all around. You can start seeing all that black sand starting to show up. That's the magnetite and hematite, which you can use your magnet to get those out, kind of make it a little easier, get some of that other heavier stuff out of your pan. But yeah, you shake that around. Try to get up here a little bit. This foot's getting wet. You just wash that material off. You can really start to see all that black sand there. If you're seeing some black sand in there, you're doing it right. If you're catching a lot of black sand, your gold's definitely going to the bottom. So you want to wash that out a little bit. And I get down to, I don't know, that might be maybe a little over a tablespoon or so. That might be 2 tablespoons. But once you get down to that much, you want to tilt your pan back to where your focal point is at the edge of your pan here. So it'll be the lowest spot as you're shaking it around. So you shake it into that focal point, and you give it a little shake and pull back. want to slowly work this off. And you can take it back down a little bit. Make sure that gold stays in that focal point. Shake it back again. Well, I'm not seeing anything in that one. So I'll go over here and I'll get me another scoop here. Do that all over again. Let's see. Move a little closer up this way here. See, there's some roots and stuff. Now, roots are good to have in there too, because all those little strands of roots and stuff act like kind of like miner's moss, what they use in sluice boxes, and that'll catch all that gold. And you can tell there are plants all the way around here. It'll get caught right in that. But don't just shake it off dry too. You want to get that wet and clean that off, because that gold will be down in there. So we'll take a few more scoops from here. Yeah, most of your time prospecting will be searching. You want to do a lot of searching so you can find you some spots. It'll take a lot of panning. Don't get frustrated because you won't find it everywhere, especially in Ohio. It's a task to find it, but once you start finding it and learning where that gold's going to be sitting and stuff, you'll find a good bit. You know, most everywhere you look, once you figure that out, you'll probably have a little bit of gold. So, get this down in here. Move this out of the way. Clean everything off. Clean those roots out. Classify all that down. And yeah, you want to look through your material too, just a little bit. I mean, kind of see what you've got going on, because you never know. You never know. There could be a nugget in there. You never know. But here, get my hand situated. So here we go again. Gonna wash all that material off, liquefy all that material in there, rinse that muddy water off, shake her around some more, rinse that muddy water off. The third time you can start taking it forward a little bit till you get close to the edge of your pan. Start washing. Clean it out. And you don't want to dump your material out. You let that water pull that top layer off, because that top layer will always be the lightest stuff. You don't want to take too much out, because you'll start getting into your black sands, and that's where you'll find your gold. So you just want to shake that around, get that back down in there. Shake it around there. Okay, down to my black sands. Swirl everything down to that focal point. Pull it back a little. Just slowly run that water over it. You don't want to rush that water over because it'll push your small gold right down into the pile, and then you'll have to redo it and all that fun stuff. Let me shake it down. And I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. But there is a piece of gold right in there. You probably can't see it. It's a little micron piece. It's just teeny tiny. But yeah, that's how I pan. And that's kind of the main places that I look, is on these inside corners on the downriver side. So if this is the inside corner, the water is running this way, you'll want to check on the downside, going this way. Now, gold will also, the bigger pieces and stuff, it likes to run, it'll run around these corners like this, and it'll run a straight line to that next edge. So it'll run straight down here, right down this way, and straight up to there. And then you'll want to check on the inside corner downriver on this side, because any gold that's running in this straight line, that's where it'll be. So just go ahead and try to find you some spots like this with a lot of turns and curvy spots, and you should find some gold. So hope you have luck and you start finding some. So I'd like to thank Buck Run 11 for subscribing to my channel. I know you just got you a pan. So if you go by what I said, you should be able to find some gold where you're at. And yeah, I'd love to get together and try to find some gold together. If you can somehow get a hold of me or write a comment or something, we'll get a hold of each other and we'll find us some gold. I've got a few different things that we can use. I've got a sluice box that we can take out, or I've got a high banker we can take out, and I just built a dredge, a 2-inch dredge, to where we can move a good bit of material and find a good amount of gold. But yeah, that's usually where I look and how I pan. So hopefully I'll find some more. I don't know, this kind of made me look like a liar a little bit, but I pulled some material out the other day. It was raining, so I just classified it, took it home, and I haven't been through all of it, but I found some good flakes in it already. So, till next time, see ya.